Cassie. Welcome back to my channel. Last episode, I talked to you guys about my spiritual journey, the reason for going on this new lifestyle change, and the small things that I implemented in this process. So this week, I just wanted to update you guys on where I am, what I've done, what changes that I've made, what research I did. I'm currently in the shadow work process of my spiritual growth. I was really apprehensive about doing the shadow work to begin with because of things that I assumed that it was. After doing my own research, I realized, once again, I was wrong. It's nothing like I thought it was. So I figured I'd get on here and kind of talk to you guys about what shadow work is and what it has done for me during my spiritual growth process. Let's first start with what shadow work is. Shadow work is a practice of healing and self-growth. It is accepting your past and forgiving yourself and or others that have caused you some form of trauma. We're all human, so we've all had some form of trauma in our life. The thing with shadow work is if you haven't really healed from the trauma, you continue to suppress those feelings and those actions and those thoughts. And it pretty much is, hindering to your self-growth if you're constantly thinking about it, but still trying not to think about it and suppress whatever it is that you went through and not really deal with it head on as far as, how it affected you emotionally, mentally, whatever. So shadow work pretty much is you basically unpacking that trauma and dealing with those feelings and either forgiving yourself or those people or just getting the emotion out. With me, I know I'm the type of person that tries to act like I'm completely unbothered by things. People can say things to hurt my feelings, but I won't tell you or I won't act like it bothered me. That's just, something that I've always done. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that this was a problem because me and my husband were having a conversation. He said to me, I really don't know much about your upbringing. And what my response was, some things I just try not to think about, So I just don't think about it or talk about it. Or if you bring it up, I shift gears really quickly because I don't want to go down memory lane. And that's a form of trauma. If you're trying to avoid thinking about it, dealing with it, talking about it, whatever, you need to heal from it. So I started doing shadow work, and it was crazy how all of this came into play. I had the conversation with him. I got on Facebook, and I'm in this melanated and spiritual group on Facebook, and they have a lot of files. And one of the things that popped up was childhood traumas and shadow work. So I clicked the file link, and it's pretty much like a workbook of things that you do to begin your shadow work process. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm looking at the comments and looking at everybody else and what they experienced going through it. I'm like, I probably need to go ahead and do this, but whatever. So I gave it a few more days, and then I finally decided like, hey, you got to do your shadow work, especially if you want to grow and heal as a person. So one of the disclaimers that they put out there about shadow work is, it will get dark, it will get heavy, it will be a lot, but you don't have to do all the work at once. So if you want to do a prompt a day, that's fine. If you want to do 5 a day, that's fine as well. Once a week, whatever you feel comfortable with. Because I will tell you, doing this shadow work does trigger a lot of emotions. When I first started off, I was an emotional roller coaster. One minute I was happy, like, oh my God, yes, I'm finally learning who I am. And then the next minute it was like, oh, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to deal about that. Oh my God, let me call this person because I really need to let them know how I feel. So shadow work is really an emotional roller coaster, but it's really rewarding once you really unpack a lot of those things that, that you've been trying to suppress. Just to give you an example of some of the prompts that, I saw where I am in my shadow work process. The first prompt I want to say was like, what is your most proudest moment? So of course you want to brag on yourself and you're like, oh, this isn't going to be bad. Oh my God, this is going to be great. And then like one day it was, what do you need to forgive yourself for? And then I'm like an emotional wreck because it's like, oh my God, I did that. I shouldn't have did that. Do I really need to talk about that? Nobody really knows about that. But you have to, be honest with yourself, be open, and understand that, you are human, you did make mistakes, but you also can't continue to suppress those emotions and those feelings. You have to let that out. And that's why shadow work is so important, because you get to accept your flaws and move forward and understand that those mistakes are behind you. The things that you did in the past do not define who you are going to be in the future. And that's the greatest thing about this spiritual growth and journey for me. I made mistakes. I did a lot of things that I've done that I'm not proud of. Some things people know about, some things people don't. But I've dealt with it, dealing with it, and I'm moving forward and I'm growing and I'm becoming the person that I know that I can be. And I highly encourage you guys, if you are on this spiritual journey, spiritual growth, and you are about to embark on the shadow work phase, do it. Do it sooner than later. Because once you tap into that and you realize, like, you know what, this isn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Oh my God, like, you really get to know yourself again, and it's a really amazing feeling. I really hope that this video on shadow work helped somebody, motivated somebody. I hope that you begin to do your shadow work, because you got to do the shadow work. You can't grow if you're not going to really just tap into things that brought you to, you know, where you are as far as your spiritual walk. I'm gonna just be honest with you. The spiritual walk, growth, the journey has not been an easy process. It's not just, oh my God, oh, this is so awesome, yoga, meditating, all of that. No, you go through emotions and you deal with them. And you, a lot of times, you know, like in the past, you know, I would be able to suppress it, like, oh, you know, be all right. But now it's like, no, your energy is off. You're constantly reminded you have to address whatever it is that's bothering you. And it's great. Along with my shadow work, as far as like my Facebook groups that I'm in that help me along this journey, I'm also still reading the 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements is pretty much basically changing how I interact with people and also how I process things. I'm learning that a lot of things that, you know, were said to me, you know, based on like past trauma or done to me, had nothing really to do with me. A lot of it didn't. A lot of it was, you know, people's own, you know, issues that they were dealing with, and they just didn't know how to process it or direct it. So I would say with doing your shadow work, also read the 4 Agreements with this. I'm also reading The Sacred Woman. Sacred Woman is really dope. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, that's about it though. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video on up. Not gonna hold you for too much longer. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. I'm also drop some links in the description box for you to, you know, follow me on social media if you want to. Join that Facebook group that I'm in. It's lovely. It's really great getting all this insight from all these women that are also on this journey as well. No judgment in the group at all. So if you have a question that you may think is dumb, no such thing as a dumb question. They'll be more than happy to assist you, help you, and guide you along the way. Nobody's spiritual journey is the same. Everybody's is different. But I just am going to share with you guys my own personal experiences. Again, I am not a professional. I didn't go to school for this. This is just my own personal opinions and research. Everything that I say on this video, please do your own research, because you may interpret it differently than what I do. It's been real. It's been great. Until next time, be blessed.